Welcome into Cronkite Sports Live. Brett Deckert alongside Carrie Crowley with you here at the desk inside our downtown Phoenix studios for the first time since October 17th, almost 2 months ago. Can you believe that, Carrie?
October 17th, Brett, that doesn't feel right.
That's right.
That was before the ASU Stanford game.
Long time ago.
Todd Graham, he hadn't even had the chance to say, this one matters. We beat Stanford. We beat Stanford. Cool.
He said that plenty of times. Believe it, Todd.
That's why it's built in, Jason. I play to my strengths.
Cronkite Sports Live, Brett Deckert with you alongside Carrie Crowley here at the desk inside our downtown Phoenix studios for the first time since October 17th, nearly 2 months ago. Can you believe that, Carrie?
October 17th, that doesn't feel right,
It
Brett.
is.
That was before the ASU Stanford football game.
Long time ago.
Todd Graham, he hadn't even had the chance to say, this one matters, Brett. This one matters. We beat Stanford.
Well, Todd, believe it or not, it's true. We haven't been here in nearly 2 months, though. Don't forget, we did take the Cronkite Sports Live caravan out to Wells Fargo Arena for our on-location episode before the Notre Dame game. We can't forget that. Speaking of the Cronkite Sports caravan, which may or may not exist, it was down in Tucson the past weekend, last Friday, for a little-known game between two in-state rivals known as the Territorial Cup.
Let's get to those highlights. First series for ASU, Taylor Kelly drops back. Who but Scooby Wright on the sack fumble. Look at that, Anthony Lopez picks it up. 25-yard touchdown return to the house. Cats take a 7-0 lead. The ASU defense would strike later. Demetrius Cherry on the fumble recovery. He weighs over 300 pounds. That's a fat guy touchdown, 7-7. Then Samaji Grant, 69-yard touchdown reception from Anu Solomon. He goes all the way, weaves his way through this ASU defense to take the lead, 14-7 Cats. Later on, Nick Wilson in the third quarter, the freshman tailback, he cuts through the ASU defense just like Grant did and goes 72 yards to the house. His third touchdown of the game. U of A takes a 35-21 lead. Mike Bercovici would lead a touchdown drive for ASU, but it was too little too late. Anu Solomon rolls out to his right and finds who else but Samaji Grant. Second touchdown reception of the day. Cats win 42-35, and Arizona moves on to the Pac-12 title game. Joined now at the desk by WCSM football analyst Jake Garcia. Jake, a pair of teams entered that contest 9-2, and it was the Wildcats emerging with that coveted 10th victory. What went wrong for the Sun Devils?
When you use an attacking style defense like Todd Graham does, you're going to generate a lot of pressure on the opposing quarterback. But at the same time, you're going to have to live with the fact that you're going to give up a lot of big plays. And simply put, to answer your question, Arizona State's defense gave up more big plays than it created last week. We'll take a look at a perfect example right here. Demarius Randall is going to overcommit on the pass from Andrew Solomon. He has to realize that you're taking a risk by blitzing in the first place. You can't afford to take those kind of gambles in secondary coverage because literally no one else is in contain mode for the Sun Devils. That was the theme of the game. Samaje Grant catches a pass, breaks a few tackles, takes it to the house. And then combine that with the fact that ASU had to play through some injuries last week. Liu Mokiola didn't even play the second half for the Sun Devils. That forced them to have to go back to kind of what they were doing during the first part of the season. That was playing with a lot of freshmen on the defensive side of the ball. Todd Graham had to use Armand Perry in a nickelback coverage while the rest of his defense was playing in a base formation. It's incredibly difficult to master, and he even admitted that they didn't practice it a lot, so those were the problems for the Sun Devil defense.
So the Wildcats win the Territorial Cup. They play tonight in the Pac-12 championship game. As for the Sun Devils, 9-3, nothing to be ashamed of. Where are they headed in bowl season?
Well, it's a pretty convoluted discussion, and a lot of it hinges on how close Arizona can keep it against Oregon tonight. And if they do keep it fairly close, as we'll take a look at the graphic right here, I say Arizona is going to end up in that Fiesta Bowl. And then in the eyes of the selection committee, UCLA, Arizona State, and USC are all going to be viewed as tied because they're finished the season with the same conference record. UCLA goes to the Alamo Bowl because of head-to-head records. Arizona State, there's a possibility that they could slip all the way down to the Sun Bowl because Stanford may get that Foster Farm Bowl nod. Simply due to proximity, they may sell more tickets. So it's unfortunate for the Sun Devils, but they're going to have to live with it after falling to Arizona last week.
Jake, thanks so much for being the bearer of what is kind of bad news for Sun Devil football. Anyway, in much happier news for the Sun Devils, the Arizona State volleyball team scored a historic victory in College Station, Texas last night. The Sun Devils defeated Texas A&M in 4 sets, marking the program's first postseason victory under head coach Jason Watson. For more, we go to Brett Deckert and the doctor, volleyball analyst Zach Poklov.
Thank you, Carrie. I've been in the waiting room, finally get called in to see the doctor alongside Zach. Zach, this is the time of year you've been waiting for. You're here all semester long, consistent reporter for a consistent team, but this is tournament time, baby. On Monday, you told me the Sun Devils would have a 50-50 chance to win this game. Flipped a coin, said heads, they win.
Yep.
Why?
Well, they just played a very clean and efficient game. It's the same old script for an ASU win. Macy Gardner was extremely productive, racked up 24 kills, and Bianca Arellano dished out 48 assists. Everybody was firing on all cylinders. They really frustrated Texas A&M. They couldn't get anything going because ASU was playing so well, and Coach Watson has preached playing well for a long period of time, and that's exactly what happened against Texas A&M.
Well, they have to play even better today.
Yep.
So tonight at 7 o'clock against Texas, number 2 team in the country, number 2 team in the tournament, but a team the Sun Devils beat last season. What does that mean for tonight's matchup?
It doesn't mean that much because that was a Texas team that was still figuring a lot of things out in 2013. But this team is a very efficient, high ball, powerful team. They're really physical at the net, and that's really emphasized by Haley Eckerman. She's one of the most powerful outside hitters in the entire country. A big matchup problem because she can hit above the block. She just has a great, powerful arm. And so ASU is going to need to play very scrappy on defense, use their good eye work, and facilitate points that way. They have a chance. ASU is very battle-tested. They've played Stanford and Washington. The Pac-12 is the best conference in the country. But Texas, nobody plays volleyball the way they do, as good as they do, or as well as they do, rather. And so I think ASU has a chance, but it'll be an issue.
All right, so you're telling me you're not filling out that a mild-tempered prescription for ASU fans?
It's like 60-40 as opposed to 50-50.
Hey, well, 60-40 is not too bad. A lot more room on either side. All right, well, that'll be it for Zach this semester. We appreciate you joining us all semester long. Great work from you. You'll be able to catch his readings for tonight from the game, as well as plenty of things during this break while we're gone, not here in your live shots. Tonight, 7 o'clock, though, that's the game you want to see tonight, ASU Texas. It's on the Longhorn Network, so you can't watch it on TV. Make sure you check out cronkitesports.com. He'll be writing some stuff for you. We'll send it back to Carrie for now.
The Arizona State basketball team has already faced adversity in the first month of its season, and the Sun Devils kept the status quo alive on Wednesday night. ASU hosted UNLV at Wells Fargo Arena, and it was the young Runnin' Rebels who played as if they were the home team early on. UNLV jumped out to a 15-point advantage in the game's first 7 minutes before a 3-point barrage helped the Sun Devils tie the game 5 minutes later. In the second half, junior center Eric Jacobson helped ASU pull away as the big man tied or set career highs with 16 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists. Spurred by Jacobson in the play of freshman point guard Cody Justice, the Sun Devils finished the game on a 71-34 run en route to a 77-55 victory. For more, we turn to Brett Deckert and WCSN basketball analyst Jake Gayden.
Thank you, Kerry. Alongside my former co-anchor, you've got a different seat, though, this semester, down on the court for ASU basketball. There's one situation that I really want to focus on first. Trey Holder and another name, Cody Justice. At the beginning of the season, it was Chance Murray, not Justice. These are point guards for the team. Who's going to play? That's what I'm asking you.
Well, basically, at the beginning of the season, the competition was between freshman point guard Trey Holder and the combo guard sophomore Chance Murray. But now Murray's not even the conversation anymore between Justice and Holder. Both are freshmen. It's incredible. It's very interesting because at the beginning of the season, everyone thought it was Holder who was going to win that job for the Sun Devils, and ended up being Justice. It's just his job to lose right now. The other interesting fact is when Herb Sendek recruited Cody Justice out of high school, he had him a vision of a combo guard and knew he could play the point guard position, but didn't know how well he did. Played it in practice in November, kept on playing it in practice, and he's doing it very, very well. Now, the competition between both of these guys, numbers-wise, is very similar. Both playing the same amount of points per game, or minutes per game, points per game, rebounds per game, and assists per game. But the difference is that turnover ratio for the Sun Devils. Holder has 11 turnovers this year to Justice's 3, which is just, you can't do that as the point guard. You're the guy who facilitates the ball, the guy that distributes the ball correctly, and if you don't do that, that's why Justice is not going to win the job. Or Justice is going to win the job and not Holder.
And it's even more remarkable to see that as a freshman, Justice, the one holding onto the ball better. He's progressing so well. It's interesting to see how we will progress over more time as he gets used to this offense. So we're going to talk about the rest of the team now real quick. It's a young team coming into the season, just a handful of returners, plenty of junior college players coming in. What have we seen so far?
Well, there's good and the bad, and it's been a very young season, only 7 games so far. But the biggest thing that we know is Eric Jacobson has been fantastic for the Sun Devils down low in replacing Jordan Machinsky. He's had 11 points per game, 8 rebounds per game, and 2 blocks per game. You can't ask more from the guy who's been just absolutely phenomenal down low. But the bad thing is, when the Sun Devils have less than a 10-point margin, under 2 minutes to play, the Sun Devils do not have that go-to guy to have to win down the stretch, and you need that in Pac-12 play. But there's good news. They're going to play on the road next week, or this weekend on Saturday, against a good Texas A&M team in the SEC, which isn't a terrible conference. And you also, circle your calendars, December 14th is when Savon Goodman's going to come back for the Sun Devils. He's a JC player that couldn't play because of eligibility issues. He's going to come back and help Eric Jacobson in the post. It's going to be a fun rest of the non-conference schedule for the Sun Devils.
Well, you mentioned that December 14th date. Unfortunately, we won't be able to cover that here on Cronkite Sports Live, but Jake Gayden and the rest of his coverage team will be duking it out online, cronkitesports.com, all winter break long. We'll be back in January, of course, as will Jake here, I'm sure, analyzing some more ASU basketball. All right, well, thanks for your time, Jake. We'll send it back to our studio with Kerry.
You can't spell USA without ASU. While most Sun Devils despise the red, white, and blue normally associated with the Arizona Wildcats, 6 ASU hockey players will put aside their preferences to accept a tremendous honor. Forwards Ryan Belanger, Sean Murphy, and Chris Burkemper, as well as defensemen Ed McGovern, Connor Schmidt, and Jordan Young, will all don the stars and stripes for the United States this winter at the World University Games. The players will spend 10 days in Granada, Spain this February and miss 4 ACHA contests. Because when Uncle Sam calls, you usually answer. One Sun Devil who apparently just missed out on making the World University Games is WCSN hockey color commentator Jason Chesler. He's still unapologetically patriotic, and he's still here to bring you your tweets of the week.
Yeah, little known fact, I don't just read Twitter, I also call hockey games from time to time. Thank you, Kerry. Now, of course, it's a yearly occasion here. It's cold outside, a balmy 70 degrees. My hair's too long. I need a haircut. And I'm dealing with 3 major disappointments. My finals, they're not fun. Eggnog, it's not good. And Sun Devil football. It happens every year, guys. It's the end of the fall semester here at Arizona State, so to deal with those distractions, to deal with those downtrodden efforts from certain Sun Devils, I'm here to bring you something fun. They said it, I picked it, wasn't a team effort. ASU Athletes Tweets of the Week. Tweet number 1, so let's take a look ahead at a spring sport. Let's get ready for the new year. Ryan Kellogg, baseball, he's got false hope. Twitter's giving him fake notifications because no one is sliding into his DMs. Kerry, Brett, I slide into both of your DMs on a regular basis. You never respond to me.
I don't get them, so I apologize, Jason. I think that's a bit of a miscommunication on Twitter's part there. I'm sorry. I wish I was getting your DMs. I'd enjoy that. conversation.
I had the chance to work with Ryan Kellogg a bit this summer, and he told me that one of the reasons he struggles with getting those DMs is girls just think he's too tall. So, Ryan,
what?
maybe shrink a little bit.
Too tall. As a vertically challenged man myself, I want to have a word with you, Mr. Kellogg.
Yeah, the average height between the three of us here in the studio is 5'9". That's 5'7" between all three of us, plus the 2 imaginary inches we give ourselves. Moving forward, not past baseball season, but actually a little bit of a step back. Tweet number 2. Jahi Carson. Guys, it's the end of the semester. Jahi is still not a Sun Devil. I had to do it. What's he doing? He calls himself a legend. He takes a shirtless picture. I've been missing out on this on Tweets of the Week every week this semester. Can I please just start using Jahi like he's still a Sun Devil?
I have no words, really.
I was just about to say, I don't think there are words from any Sun Devil that could convey their feelings toward Jahi Carson right now.
It must be Australia. The weather, he's taking his shirt off.
Rumor has it his professional team in Australia was like 1-15, so
Oh.
maybe they're legendarily bad.
No, guys, you don't understand. He's targeting that tweet at me, at the Cronkite Sports Live team, because he is a Tweets of the Week legend. He is
I
the
get it.
first
All right.
inductee. That's what this tweet signifies. He is my first induction into the CSL Tweets of the Week Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Jahi Carson.
Can't wait for Jalen Strong to become eligible.
He's got some good stuff, too. Moving forward, all right, tweet number 3, we're done, right? Oh, wait, what's this, Cardale Jones? I'm leaving the Sun Devils? I'm giving you guys a chance to comment on something going viral? Guys, you guys go to the Cronkite School to do journalism. You ain't come here to play school, right?
Classes are pointless. Cardale Jones tweeted that when he was the 3rd-string quarterback behind Braxton Miller and J.T. Barrett at Ohio State. He never would have thought.
Now it's a story.
Yes.
Like now it's a thing. It's a weird tweet but any college student I think would put that out.
Ironically, when he tweeted that, he came there to play scout team. Cardale Jones was a nothing.
So he
when
kind
tweeted
of
that.
went for classes, really. So you're
Exactly.
saying he went for the wrong reasons,
Exactly.
maybe.
It was mostly for classes. Get your education, kids. So that's it. That's Tweets of the Week for the calendar year. No. As if I would end Tweets of the Week. You've had a good semester. Kerry, Brett, you've done some great anchoring.
Thank
I'm
you.
proud of both of you. Our folks at home, I'm sure you've done great things this semester. What Sun Devil has had a better semester than Mike Bercovici? And Berco wishes you good luck on your finals. He's a superstar. He's an all-around team player. Thank you, Berco. Good luck to you as well.
He's finding his way into our hearts just more and more every week. I think everyone's so excited to see what he can do next season.
Number 2 on the field, number 1 in the hearts of all Sun Devil fans, Mike Burke.
Good luck on your finals as well, Berco. Well, some big news this weekend. Arizona State, U of A, battle on the ice. Big history there. The Sun Devils, they won 37 straight games before they lost one game last season on senior night to the Wildcats at Oceanside Arena in Tempe. We're going to ignore that one and look back to the rest of the plays between Greg Powers and his squad against U of A over the past couple of years. It's a special edition of Top Plays. We're not going to have them at the end of the show. No, they're right now. Here they are. The top plays for Greg Powers and his ASU Sun Devils against the Wildcats. Number 3, we kick it off, and it's Fez Khan. Here's a guy you haven't seen on the ice so far this season. The Sun Devils will greatly use his services when he comes back. This is his freshman year. Take us back all the way. Look at the stick work. He's showing he's a two-way forward. What's it going to take? Take his time and pick top shelf where the mama hides the cookies. That's our number 3 play. Fez Khan. Look at those. I love those jerseys, by the way. Go back to those black ones. All right, number 2, right here. Triangle offense. Norris from the point. Young. Excuse me, that was Norris to Young at the point. And firing in another name you'll recognize, Kale Olinsky, another guy they could really use this weekend against the Wildcats. So that was Kale with the deflection from the side. In our first play, Chris Burkemper coming down the center of your ice there, up on the right side. It's Jordan Young once again to Burkemper. He gets pulled down. The puck finds its way into the back of the net. You're going to have to trust me on that one because Burkemper is good, baby. Huge one right there. Like we said, these are our top plays for Greg Powers and his team against the Wildcats so far in their career. But the Wildcats come down to Tucson this weekend and they come back to Oceanside where the Sun Devils experienced their only loss against the Wildcats in the past 4 seasons. For more on that, we'll send it to Kerry Crowley and Dom Catronio.
Thanks, Brett. The big story with the ASU hockey team, the Sun Devils are moving up to the NCAA Division I level. But Dom, the second biggest story, perhaps ASU's domination of the Cactus Cup. Arizona State owns Arizona on the ice right now. But something's different this year. Arizona, a better team than the Wildcats usually have. They've kind of climbed up the national rankings, especially earlier on in the season. Tell me, why do the Wildcats have a chance this year?
Well, if you look back at the first two games this season, it was at Oceanside, a 4-1 and 3-0 victories for ASU. You look at the scores, you look at the score sheet, you think no big deal there, but really U of A came out and out-hustled ASU, which is really surprising to think that a team can out-hustle ASU and still lose. That just preaches to the talent that they have on this squad. But let's look at this history. It's been very well documented over the years for the Cactus Cup. Right now, ASU is in a huge, trying to start a new streak. They had 37 games in a row, snapped last season on their senior night, but since they lost in Tucson, we were not even thinking about Cronkite. So it was still, 2009 was the last time we lost in Tucson, and we all remember Cale Dolinsky last year. He has departed now as a graduated senior. Sean Murphy's done a good job filling in his role. Cale in his career against the Wildcats, 54 points in 22 games, simply irreplaceable, and it's just been a really good job by Murphy to step in and do a good job for him.
So looking past U of A, let's take a step back and go bigger picture here. The Sun Devils done with more than half of their ACHA season. What does ASU have to do to kind of end this regular season on a bang?
Well, you look at it, and we talked about it, how U of A out-hustled ASU, but the Sun Devils still managed to win. That shows you how much talent this team really does have, and that's even without a few of their star players. Ryan Ostertag still out. He's been missing numerous games because of a concussion. You also don't have Patrick Udez. He may not show up on the score sheet, but he does have 6 goals already this season. Last year, he was a key member of that vital third line, but you lose those guys, and you lose a lot of your offensive production. But guys like Ryan Belanger, Liam Norris, Sean Murphy, the points leaders on this team, they've done a very good job of filling in, and once this team gets fully healthy, there's no reason to believe that they can't win national title as they exit the ACHA.
Dom, thanks so much. You're headed down to Tucson. As for me, I'm headed back to the desk, and we'll go there right now with Brett Deckert.
Do you know the name Kim Hampton? As a fan of the Bobby Flay Throwdown, Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, The Cosby Show, or classic films like Juwanna Mann and She Hate Me, you maybe should. As a fan of ASU's women's basketball team, you definitely should. The athlete, model, actress, and songstress will have her jersey raised to the rafters of Wells Fargo Arena tomorrow afternoon during the team's game against Southern Methodist. The occasion should just be another reason to tune into this team, off to an impressive start filled with plenty of promise. I'm joined now by an analyst of our own with plenty of promise, Elaine Wilson. Elaine, this Sun Devil team, they've got great numbers so far this season, 5-1, a couple of players averaging double digits, many that have touched it. Are the numbers as good as they seem?
Well, I mean, it is important to note that they've only done non-conference games this year. They haven't hit that Pac-12 play yet, but so far they're mainly focusing on teamwork. They really feed off of each other. You know, Sophie Bruner said that Kelsey Moose is always there for her roommate and her teammate. They're always there for each other on the court. And then Katie Hempen also mentioned that a lot of these players need to hit those double digits to contribute to that teamwork offensively. Let's look what she had to say here in the press conference following the Middle Tennessee game.
Lily had a really good game against our scrimmage. You know, she hit double figures. Sophie hit double figures. Quinn can come in and hit double figures. You know, we have Eliza off the bench. We have Nisi off the bench. So it's literally just like last year where one person comes in and another person goes out, but it's the same effect.
And they've proven they can do that so far this season. All of the starters have hit double digits 3 in 3 games. Sophomore Sophie Bruner is on fire. She's leading this team in both points and rebounds this year. Moose kind of started off the season a little bit slow. She had an ankle sprain in late October, but now she's finding that new position on the perimeter, and expect her to put up more points this year.
It doesn't take long to look around this team, investigate into them, and see how close they are, and I think that's a big part of how they work. As you said, they're a teamwork, contributions from all over the place, and that's what they love to do, get everyone involved. Tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock, as I said, Southern Methodist comes in, a team that's 3-3 out of the American Athletic Conference. Not a tremendous team, but they play tough opponents. What's that going to mean for the Sun Devils?
Well, yeah, last year they faced UConn 2 times. UConn's ranked 3rd currently, and they're going to face them again this year. They didn't win those games, but it just says that they play tough teams. So ASU is going to have to show up on the court and be tough as well. SMU has 3 starters that are averaging in double digits. So does ASU, but it's those 2 players off the bench that are going to make the difference for the Sun Devils. Norman and Hawkins. They need to get those double digits to come away with this one.
All right, we're still in the early going, but that game will be one to watch out for. Tomorrow, 3 o'clock. You can catch the coverage online at cronkitesports.com. More from Elaine Wilson there. Thanks for joining me this semester. We look forward to seeing you in January.
Thank you.
We'll send it over to Carrie real quick.
At Cronkite Sports Live, we're all about celebrating sports. We love talking ASU sports, and we're always here to bring you up-to-date coverage of Sun Devil athletics. But it's time to take a part out of our show to talk about what goes on behind the scenes. At Cronkite Sports Live, we have an executive board that does an excellent job prepping each week for each individual show. This December, we say goodbye to one of our best members in the history of Cronkite Sports Live, and that is Alex Gallant. You have not seen Alex Gallant on too many Cronkite Sports Live shows, but he's played a pivotal role behind the scenes and giving us so many opportunities as talent, as tech workers, and really maximizing the efforts of this show. So we want to take a step back and thank Alex for his work with Cronkite Sports Live, and he's here today working on the teleprompter as always. So Alex, good luck in your upcoming endeavors, and we wish you the happiest beyond graduation.
Of course, Alex immortalized in the Alex J. Gallant Award for Teleprompting Excellence, won, I believe, today by Alex Gallant himself.
I think he just found out. It was just now. We can see him celebrating.
Congratulations, Alex. Much more important than graduation. You know what else is important for those of us yet to graduate? Finals. You guys have a different exam today, though.
Oh.
A debate with far greater implications than those tests that, define your GPA, get you jobs, whatever.
Didn't get to study for this one.
So this one of you will get an A, maybe even an A+.
All right.
And the other one, you have to play in the Holiday Bowl. Like ASU football probably will. Disappointment? Maybe. ASU football, they were a team, it's a tough class that they're in right now. They got a B+, maybe a B, but was it a good thing or was it a disappointment? Brett, start us out.
It's a hard question for me to answer because I really want to say the whole time, success, 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 it's a failure. They had such a chance. You beat Notre Dame, number 6 team in the country. They have a chance to roll over Oregon State and Washington State and then beat a U of A team. That's your rival. You have to win that game, and they didn't. They had a chance to be there. I know this wasn't a team that wasn't expected to make a run for the playoff, but they had a chance, and they blew it in ways they shouldn't have. That's a failure.
Brett, you're wrong. It was a success for ASU, and here's why. Taylor Kelly goes down. You never expect a team to do well when the starting quarterback misses a few games. The Sun Devils missed Taylor Kelly for the USC and Stanford game. Berkovici was an unproven product at that point, and the Sun Devils ended up finishing 9-3, which is relatively equal to the expectations at the beginning of the season. So when you deal with struggles and you come away meeting the original expectations, you can call it a success.
Guys, that was a couple of good points. I think you've both really raised your game. I think you've been cramming for this exam season. I'm going to give the point to Brett.
All right.
That's wrong.
And I'm going to raise the stakes. Not only does the winner get an A, the winner gets to close the show.
All right.
Ooh. And the loser, you'll be lucky to make the Holiday Bowl. Moving on, ASU football will go to the hardwood. Now, of course, we've talked in Tweets of the Week about my disappointment over the continued absence of Jahi Carson. I was really expecting a surprise return come the middle of the season. It could still happen. I think that's how NCAA eligibility works. For now, there's a point guard controversy. Gentlemen, we'll start with you, Kerry. Who should be the starting point guard for the Sun Devils?
Well, this is such a difficult question to answer because Cody Justice, the local product out of Mesa, has played so well for Arizona State. But in my opinion, Trey Holder deserves the starting point guard job, and here's why. Holder was the higher touted recruit. He's got more potential on the offensive end of the floor, and 5 games, 5 starts, that's not enough to let him get into rhythm. He's still a young freshman and he's still got a chance. Herb Sendek has to see what Trey Holder gives this team before turning over the reins to Cody Justice.
Well, I'm going to use the same exact reason and turn it back to you. Herb Sendek's got to give a chance to Cody Justice. Cody Justice, the freshman coming in, he hasn't started many games, but his numbers are already better. He's turning the ball over way less than Trey Holder is. Cody Justice, the freshman coming in, he's shown he's even got an offensive potential. He moves the ball around well. Give him the chance before you give the job over to Holder. And I think if it is given to Cody, he can pull it away.
Now you guys understand my infatuation with former point guard Jahi Carson, a local product, much like Cody Justice. However, that infatuation is limited to Tweets of the Week. As a basketball player, leaves a little to be desired. No more local products. I give the point to Kerry.
There we go.
All right,
that much closer.
Comes down to this.
This one is for everything. As always, we are tied after 2 questions at CSL Debate, and we'll take things to the ice. ASU Hockey taking on U of A, looking for some redemption following the Territorial Cup in the Cactus Cup. Brett, do the Sun Devils on ice sweep the weekend?
Easiest question I've ever had to answer. Yes, yes, yes. Greg Powers does not want to lose this team ever again. 33-1 in his illustrious career. They don't lose and it was on their home ice last year on senior night, they're going to go down to Tucson and send a message to those guys. That's where they usually beat up on them even worse than in Oceanside. These are games they're going to win and blow the doors off that place.
Jason, you ask us to be bold every week, and I'm giving you my bold pick. U of A wins Friday night in Tucson, stunning the Sun Devils. You know, as a former Sun Devil hockey beat reporter, it's tough for me to say this because I've seen the best days of ASU hockey, but right now, so many injuries hurting this team. U of A is going to win at least one.
Carrie, you brought up my call to action, my call for boldness. I'm flattered, I'm honored. You win the show.
Oh, there it is.
Carrie Crowley, close us out.
Thank you so much. I'm wearing purple today in honor of Alex Gallant, who once said when I was calling an ASU Weber State hockey game, you better not wear purple.
I listened, I obliged, no purple for me.
From our downtown Phoenix studios, for the final time this semester, thank you so much for joining us at Cronkite Sports Live.